Today I fucked up by taking a new dose of ADHD medication and trying to entertain my family. Today I fucked up. Yes, today. Just now. I am still trying to manage the consequences of my actions. I have been on ADHD medication for 7 years now. I usually change back and forth between different meds yearly, or I'll stop taking them for months at a time. For the past couple months, I've been taking Vyvanse daily in order to be productive during the COVID-19 lockdown. This has been going very well and has made me very productive and hardworking, which I love. My issue is, I've gotten used to the dosage I was taking and went to the next higher dosage today. My issue with any ADHD med is that when it wears off hard. I go from being composed, focused, and hardworking, to a hyper-energetic, easily distracted, closest you can get to being a crackhead without smoking crack shithead. I started crashing hard by inspecting each of my family members for blackheads for 30 minutes. This somehow ended up in the kitchen, where I was staring at my mom's neck looking for blemishes. We were all chatting, and I ended up next to my brother. For years, he's been able to fart on command. He says, "Do you hear that?" then rips ass sort of thing. I have never been able to do this, but I figured today was the day I would. I rest my arms on the counter and look up at him. "Hey, do you hear that?" Nothing. I try and try. I know something is leaving the South Pole within the next 10 seconds. Something did leave the South Pole. It was not a gas like I'd intended. It was a solid, a squishy solid. My eyes widened. My normal mind knew what I had just done was horrifically embarrassing. My crackhead mind, which was leading at the moment, decided to announce what had happened. It started with a light chuckle that turned into full-blown laughter. Final thing I said to my family through laughter before waddling upstairs like a penguin incubating an egg was, "Well, I'm gonna take my leave now, seeing as I've gone and shit myself." Too long didn't read. I became very hyper after a new dosage of ADHD medication wore off. Tried to make my brother laugh by farting on command, but instead just shit myself in the kitchen. Edit, forgot a few words. Hitting yourself really brings you back to when you were 1. Edit 2, I brought this up to my mother by saying I posted anonymously about the incident last night on Reddit. She goes, "What incident, Mom?" "I shit my pants." "You seriously shit your pants?" "I thought you were joking." Fuck it, reset the shit themselves clock. Ha ha ha, that final quote. On a serious note, how do you come to terms with the crash? I can't suffer it, it freaks me the fuck out and has for years, and I just find myself being totally unreceptive to the medication. My crashes start as severe hyperactivity. It's very hard to control. But if you do get the same hyperactivity, I'd recommend doing some mindfulness exercises and breathing exercises to try to calm down. Also, if I take my Vyvanse, 50 mg now, at before 9 AM, I'll start crashing by like 3 PM, in which case I have a low dose of Ritalin, 5 mg, as a pick-me-up, which wears off around bedtime. Username checks out. LOL, thank you for sharing. Thank you for shouting. This is pure brown gold, made my day. Well, technically it's pure shit. Today I fucked up by accidentally teaching a 7th grade student about the phrase eating ass. Assume everyone remembers PEMDAS from math class. It's the magical acronym that I teach all my young mathematicians to help them remember the order of operations, parenthesis, exponents, multiplication. PEMDAS is also commonly associated with the phrase, "Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally." This also helps my students remember said order. Well, this year I decided we were going to do something different. Instead of saying "Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally," I challenged my students to come up with their own phrase because not many people actually have an Aunt Sally and it's not relatable. I want the kids to own it and make it relatable to them, so they remember it during a test. Amongst all the usual childish submissions I get for activities like this, one stood out: "Please eat my delicious asshole salad." I was shook. For a second I froze up, but then immediately took his paper, put it on my desk and gave this student the dreaded "come see me after class." Class ends, The student approaches my desk and I do my best to glare deep into his eyes to emphasize how serious I am taking this matter. I start to ask him why he wrote what he wrote, why he thought it was funny, where he learned this phrase and so on. He stares back at me confused, but confident in saying, "I don't see what is so wrong with what I wrote." I explain to him that not only do we not use the word asshole, we definitely don't use phrases of a sexual nature such as eating asshole in my classroom. I tell him that this won't be tolerated and that he is going to see the principal right now. Even more confused, my student looks at his paper and says, "But that doesn't say asshole." I'm mortified, I'm terrified, I'm embarrassed, I'm confused. I start to backpedal and ask him what he wrote. He says, "I'm sorry, my handwriting is really bad, but I wrote, 'Please eat my delicious apple salad.' I didn't write the A word. I wrote apple. And that is how I accused my student of referencing ass eating during a math assignment. His handwriting was so shit that I thought apple said asshole. Too long didn't read. Student's bad handwriting made me think he wrote eating asshole instead of eating apple during an assignment. He had to find out sometime. He probably already knows. What the fuck is an apple salad? Also, the kid's a teenager, no way they don't know what eating ass is. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, that's what I was thinking. But this kid's face was so confused and lost that it really has me thinking. Let's look at the bright side, shall we? Objective accomplish. Whichever version he'll remember is no longer your business. He will remember it. It's also likely that he'll talk with his friends and they'll remember it as well. I believe it's a sacrifice worthy of the shame you felt. Looks like little Jimmy just learned how to be a man. This salad you speak of has to be tossed, yes? Today I fucked up by making my coworkers think I was an very efficient racist. This happened about 6 weeks ago while I was cashiering at the retail giant I work at. For a little bit of context, one of the many things we sell at this store is bags of ice. However, the ice freezer is located past the checkout lanes, towards the exit, so if someone wants a bag they usually ask if they can grab it on their way out. Unfortunately, no, because I need to scan the barcode on the bottom of the bag, and the code cheat sheet that we have next to every register doesn't have the barcode number for rice. Now, normally I would just go and grab the bag myself, especially if it's an older person or someone with a bunch of kids. However, because of our new COVID measures, the lanes all have sliding plastic doors that the cashiers have to move every time they need to get in or out. They are pretty janky, and I've pulled them off the track a few times on accident, plus if there's a customer in the lane behind me, it makes my squeeze in / out even tighter. That means I usually just ask the customers to get the ice and bring it back over to the lane so I can scan it. Because of this, I've had a lot of exasperated sighs from tired moms and the like, who have to squeeze past their carts to go pull a 25-pound bag of ice out, without having the rest fall on them, etc. In short, buying a bag of ice is a hassle. Anyway, I got fed up and decided to spend the last 10 minutes of my shift posting the barcode number for the ice bags next to registers so that we would no longer have to scan them to ring them up. As I said earlier, it's missing from the cheat sheets we already have for things like produce, so I figured I would write it on pieces of receipt paper and tape it under the existing cheat sheets. After taping each one up next to a register, I clocked out and left. The next day I got called into HR, and was told that several of my Latinx co-workers had said I made them feel unsafe. Why? Because I had posted a 10-digit number and the word ICE to every register, and naturally they thought it was the phone number for the immigration police. Luckily, it was pretty easy to explain, and could be verified by the fact that the same number was indeed on the bags of ice we sell. But I definitely got some funny looks from my coworkers for a little while after. Too long didn't read, I wrote down the barcode number for ice bags next to every cash register at my job, and my coworkers thought I was making sure they all had the immigration police on speed dial. Your coworkers sound a bit simple. I just love how perfectly it worked out that the barcode number had the same amount of digits as a phone number. No one would have probably given it a second thought if it had significantly less or more digits than that. IKEA, all the codes for produce on the cheat sheet are only 4 digits, so that probably contributed to it looking out of place. I think the people you work with aren't very smart, LMFAO edit, or at least have little faith in humanity, which I don't blame them for after 2020. Ice, frozen water, cold cubes in plastic, barcode. Attention, this is the barcode for frozen dihydrogen monoxide condensed into cubic units and held in a plastic receptacle. Barcode. Too bad no one had the balls to call the number before going to HR. I say call the number just to find out who answers. Be funny as hell if it was really them.